Sportscast Sports Talk 101 on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. Sportscast Sports Talk 101.
Discuss, debate, entertain, and loud.
Sportscast Sports Talk 101.
Yo,
Football time.
what's going on? What's going on?
Not much. Holy God, have mercy. I don't even know where to begin. I think the moment we ended our show last week, the NFL was like, bro, no, you're not ending. Here, we're just going to start going. It was just one right after the other, move after move after move. I set up a Twitter account for the sports for Sports Talk 101. And I don't think I've been able to keep up with that and my other stuff because there's just been so many moves between players going here, players going there, signings, free agency. I was like, good God Almighty! I forgot how the off season can be.
Right. Yep.
So it has been freaking crazy.
I don't know, man. There's been some teams just desperately just throwing like over. I mean, that happens. Like overpriced. Like,
do you mean like what's his name? Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah,
I believe the most overpriced paid quarterback in the league.
More than Russell, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Has he won a Super Bowl? Has he?
No. I think he sat out an entire season as well. To be honest,
I mean, like I said,
one.
Get your
that
money.
Is one of the most baffling moves I've ever seen a team do.
Money, brother. I ain't gonna hate. Get your money, but I mean, I don't know, man. That's just way too much. It's way too much. And
the amount of guaranteed money is ridiculous. I don't even understand what their thought process. We don't understand.
You're gonna see more of Jacoby. The backup, because they did sign Jacoby Brissett backup. You probably see more of him because I think Homeboy is gonna be going in and out of court.
Probably. Oh God. Well, I just don't understand how the logic behind all of that with the pricing. What has he done besides sit the bench for a year? Like. Half of that was he. I don't even think he was allowed in the.
You know what the problem
anywhere.
Is? A lot of people live in the past. A lot of people live in the past, and they're hoping that some of the stuff he did in college, some of the stuff he did earlier, they can get some of that.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. That's kind of like they got Devontae and they got your boy Carr. Okay, they're hoping the Fresno, and shout out to him, man, because he always wanted to be.
Ron,
what's going on, Ron? His favorite team when he was growing up, because he's from East Palo Alto. I used to work out there. His favorite team was the Raiders, so now he's with the Raiders. But Fresno. It's not Fresno.
At least he's playing with his favorite team. That's a hell of an acquisition.
They were good in college. They were two of the best tandems coming out of college. Fresno, but.
Well, I'm just saying it. I think it's awesome to see that he gets to play with the team he loves. I would have loved, to be honest, I would have loved to see Brady in a 49ers jersey.
Did you see the?
But I'm a Brady fan.
Did you see the interview? She said, "So, how did you find out?" Just like you did. Ain't nobody called me. They just said your ass is traded. That's exactly.
I'd be questioning his agent and be like, "Bro, you traded my ass and didn't even bother to tell me?"
Yeah.
That's fantastic stuff.
Tell you something. Green Bay, Wisconsin, or Las Vegas.
I know, right?
Strip, the casinos and the clubs.
As long as that doesn't interfere, like he doesn't have off the field issues,
right?
That's a major win for the Raiders. That's a massive loss. I say that's a massive loss for Rodgers and the Packers because he's got other receivers, but Adams was that was his go-to receiver. That's a big
You can't find
vacancy that you're gonna have. Yeah, you're gonna have. How do you fill that? And I've yet to hear from Rodgers or the Packers. Like, I would love to know what his thought process was when he found out his best receiver just got traded.
Okay, I got $101 million guaranteed. I don't care.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably.
I got paid.
So, and then let's see, what else did we have? Matty Ice got he's got a new home. I think that's a good thing. I think that's going to benefit the Colts more than it will the Falcons getting rid of him.
I agree 100%. And he fits perfect.
Look at the talent. He's got receivers. He's got a running back. He's got a damn good running back.
Yeah,
it's just I think it was an all-out win for the Colts and for Ryan to get traded there.
I still don't
know. And the Falcons' replacement was Mariota. I don't know on that one though. I'm not.
Well, from a pay, his contract and everything, I totally understand.
Yeah, that I understand. I
totally understand.
And I get maybe that. Hey, maybe it'll help. But I mean, I know that Mariota is the guy now because he's on a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
So that has been done. The Bills have been making moves left and right lately.
Yes.
They got Greg Mance to a 1-year deal, so they got an offensive lineman. They almost had a running back, but that deal fizzled out.
Yeah, they got James Crowder. They got Duke Johnson. He's good.
Yeah.
Isaiah McKenzie, he re-signed. And then look at the defense. They got some defense too.
Yeah, they have been getting up there. Well, I mean, so let's see what else. I'm trying to go through my Twitter feed because I've been posting stuff left and right. So let's see. Ron is sad about Baker Mayfield and
Jimmy's not going to the Falcons. He's not going to the Falcons. They already signed their quarterback.
Yeah, Jimmy's his options at this point, I would say, would be maybe the teams that are still in need of a quarterback. I will say Seattle because I'm sorry, nobody wants a Drew Lock to be listed as the starter. No disrespect to Drew, but there are better quarterbacks than him.
Baker May right now. 2 teams are after Baker Mayfield, and that's Carolina and the Seattle Seahawks. That's his choice. Those are 2 teams that want Baker Mayfield. And Carolina, I think I'm just sources or what I've been reading. Carolina is kind of like right there almost.
Yeah, I think if Jimmy's going to get traded, at this point, if Carolina gets Baker, the choices for Jimmy team-wise that need quarterbacks is Seattle and Pittsburgh.
It ain't the Saints because your boy re-signed.
Yeah, the Saints are off the market because they re-signed Jameis Winston to a 2-year, $28 million deal.
Right.
And good for him. I'm a fan of Jameis Winston. I loved. Yeah, he had some off the field issues when he was in college, but come on now, dude. Who doesn't have issues?
He's grown up.
Yeah, who hasn't had it? And then he had to deal with Bruce Arians. Right. So it will be interesting to see because this is going to be a different type of Saints. You don't have Sean Payton. So it'll be interesting to see how he does now. But yeah, and then the Rams, they made headlines with re-signing Matthew Stafford, a 4-year, $160 million contract, $135 million guaranteed. Which the new pact, which the Rams later confirmed was effectively for 3 years and worth $29 million with added years for cap purposes. But damn, to be honest, I say that was well worth it. He definitely proved it.
They also, you want to throw in they got Gerald Everett. He's a pretty damn good tight end. They re-signed Christian Covington. They got Austin Johnson. They got Sebastian Joseph Day.
He's got another, and Stafford's got another new receiver to throw to this year now. He's got a guy named Allen Robinson.
Yes.
Who I think will fit in quite well with them. So I put up a poll real quick with the touch and base. The last thing we'll discuss with Watson until we get some more news on him because we know that'll happen. It's inevitable. But I put up a poll that said, is Watson worth the money the Browns paid for him? $230 million fully guaranteed. And I put 4 responses. I said yes, no, hell no, and are they insane? So hell no got 16.7%. Are they insane? 16.7%. There's only 2 days left. Now this is on our new Twitter account. 8.3% said no, but 58.3 said yes, he's worth the money. I personally just don't see how he is worth that kind of money for a guy that sat on the bench, has not done a whole lot even when he did play.
You give that type of money to guys who have made it in playoffs and guys that have won Super Bowls. And also people that are role models and good citizens. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, I think he is. Isn't no, hell no. The Dolphins acquired the number 1 free agent. They just signed offensive tackle Terran Armstead. I think I said the name right. I have probably not, but 5-year, $75 million deal plus incentives. So not a huge for an offensive tackle. I'd take $75 million. I mean, now granted, that's 5 years, so you break it down, that's still a buttload of money.
And it has a max value of $87.5 million.
That's a lot of money, and considering the Dolphins are making moves, they didn't do too bad. Well, they started off. But they had a semi decent season. They had some setbacks, and some other issues.
Teddy Bridgewater, I think he'll do well in Miami. I think he'll do okay.
Yeah. I love seeing Teddy do better. I liked him. He was a great quarterback until the knee. And the comeback that he's made has been fantastic.
Right. But here's the thing, and I'm just keeping it real. The fans want what's the long term, like you can in these days you know what? Sometimes you just can't throw a lot of money out at one person. You gotta, do a 2-year deal. Somebody young, they could be looking at somebody in college right now when they come out and try and go after him.
Speaking of college, did we see the highlights from Malik Willis's pro day?
Everybody's talking about it.
I watched some of those. Holy crap. He has got some talent that I was not expecting. He's definitely, I think he's moved up the list for the
top 5, top 10.
Based on performance, I would put him in a top 5. It'll be interesting to see who goes after him, because I'm trying to think who the order is for the top 5 teams to start off with. I don't remember right off the top of my head.
Well, I know one thing: Detroit's always there.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Detroit.
Dude, I watched a video highlight of Russell Wilson throwing a deep ball to Cortland Sutton on his personal practice field, and I love the fact that he just got out to Denver and he already owns his personal practice field. I'm just like, I want a personal practice field. I mean, I can't run or do any of that, but damn, I want one.
I think Russell out there, Jamarcus Russell had a great pro day. You know what? Good point there, Ron. Can you take Ron? I've met Jamarcus Russell, man. He came into the store, and I said I should have known something was up when I saw him at the pretzel store buying bags of pretzels, getting every sauce.
That was God, man. You already knew when he did with the fat that was a bust already. Even before he played, because most people do not reject and sit out their rookie year because they think they deserve more money.
Right.
You just got drafted. You don't get to dictate that kind of stuff. What are you, Tom Brady? I was just like, oh my God.
That was a bust.
I mean, if Mariota does well for the Falcons, I mean, let's think of it this way. He signed a 2-year deal, $18.75 million. It's not a huge amount, but if he performs well, I don't think he's going to get. They're not playoff caliber. They got a ways to go. But if he does well, I think that he could potentially make more. He could get an extension within that. This has given him 2 years to show, hey, I can still cut it in the NFL. I'm a starting quarterback. Now he's going to need some talent surrounding him to help with that because I don't know who the hell he's going to throw to.
He ain't showed me nothing. He ain't showed me nothing, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But my biggest concern right now while free agency is running rampant is the Bucks. The 49ers haven't done much of anything. Washington's just saying, fuck it, let's just get rid of everybody.
What are you talking? Hold up. Your boys, they went and got Carson Wentz, man.
We ain't discussing that. We've gotten rid of defensive players. We're throwing away offensive players. We almost lost a running back, but somehow we convinced him to come back. He may regret that decision. But no, I'm concerned with the Bucks because they don't have a lot of cap space, and they have a lot of people set to go to free agency, whether via restricted and unrestricted free agency. They've still got Gronk, free agent. They got a couple of, I think, some more receivers and a few other key pieces.
They signed Leonard Fournette. They got
3 years, $21 million.
They got Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I don't see though that they're going to let Gronk. I don't see Gronk leaving. I know he jokes about retiring and that he was going to retire and then come back like next month, just to screw around with Brady because Brady did the same thing to him. But I don't see that happening. I think they'll get a deal done. Am I worried about it? No. The issue that I see, the biggest one, I think that I'm waiting to see out of free agency is where Odell's going, because there's a lot of rumors saying he's going back to Cleveland, which if he does, that means that the issue which I think we all know the issue why he left was tied to Baker. That's also, I think, why Jarvis Landry left, and why they replaced Baker basically. Right. So I would love to know what the issue was.
Take my son out real quick.
Okay. And I know that currently I'm looking at, as we look at the news, besides I already mentioned the Terran Armstead signing. Pete Carroll's going to from the Seahawks says he's going to do everything they can to get DK Metcalf extension worked out this offseason. And the Rams are currently working on an extension with Aaron Donald, which means he ain't retiring, because I was under the impression that at the end of the Super Bowl, there was a lot of talk. He wanted to, he was debating retirement. So he's getting a contract worked out. Let's see.
All right.
Let's see. So Aaron Donald is more than likely not retiring.
Oh no.
The Rams are working on an extension for him. Right. All indications are that Donald will return and get some more money in the process. They are still apparently interested in re-signing Odell. The Rams GM Les Snead said they're working on an extension with Donald, and he expressed ongoing interest in re-signing Odell Beckham.
He scored a touchdown. He showed up for the Super Bowl, so pay that man.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah, Beckham had a first half touchdown, but didn't play in the second half because tore his ACL.
You traded Robert Woods, so but they did make a good sign. They did sign somebody.
Well, the good thing is that Snead let it be known the Rams still want him back. They want him back, so that's a good sign. That was somebody brought up. Do you want Odell back? Because there's how rumors work. Donald still has 3 seasons remaining on his current 6-year, $135 million deal. He's got a base salary of $9.25 million due this year with a $26.75 million cap number. Mm-hmm. And they're talking with an extension. He's going to get even more money. Right. But he's worth every penny of it.
Well, he's a leader with the defense.
Yeah.
He's a champion. They won. I mean, Hey, don't forget that last play, couple of the last plays, he did it. He did it.
It was definitely a difference maker. Well, and you got to think they lost Von Miller, but they added Allen Robinson. They extended the contract for Matthew Stafford. So now they just got to and it looks like they're getting the deal worked out with Donald. So Odell's the next step.
And then they can't do too many moves because they got rookies. We still have the draft. So I
Yeah.
think also, and then after
And
the draft,
it
you can
looks
still
like,
make.
hey, this is going to be. I think this is a good draft. This is a good draft year, player wise overall. I think this is going to be one of the better years that we've seen with the upcoming draft. I know Pete Carroll said he's trying to do everything they're going to do everything they can to get a DK Metcalf extension worked out this
Well, they
offseason.
well
They
they
don't want to
did.
lose him.
Well, they did sign Will Disley, their tight end, to a $24 million. They also acquired Noah Fant. Uh, they got their running back Rashad Penny, who was kind of like a fill-in.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of defensive players that they re-signed or signed.
Well, it looks like Case Keenum got traded too. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
He's with the Bills. You know what? He's probably happy to be with the Bills. He left the Browns to go to the Bills. He's probably like, woohoo!
Yeah.
But to be fair, though, Keenum's a good backup. He did a fantastic job in Minnesota.
If I had a quarterback that went down and got hurt and was out for 3 games, and I need a fill-in, I would love to get Case. I think
look what he did in Minnesota. He took him to the NFC Championship. And then they said, "Bye, Case. We're gonna go bye, Teddy. We're gonna bring in Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk instead. He's much better."
Kurt's like, yeah, sorry, don't count my money though. Count my money.
Yep. So I pulled up. I'm looking at the trades for March, and my God, there's some big ones. You got Shaq Mason going from the Patriots to the Bucks. That was another move.
Right.
And he's familiar with protecting Brady, so Brady gets another former Patriot teammate of his.
Yeah.
God, the Carson Wentz one, that one irritates the crap out of me. But yeah,
that might be. Hey, look.
And you know what? I look at it like my expectations are at the ground level. So anything he does positive will slowly move me up. Do I think that we're going to get to the playoffs? Hell no. Am I going to say that we're going to get to the playoffs at the start of the season? Hell yes, I will. Because as a fan, I always want to see them succeed.
Hey,
but reality will set in, and I know that won't happen.
Hey, look. You look at what's his name, the quarterback for the Titans. I mean, Titans was just a way of getting going deep.
Well, and a lot of things. The reason they said, "Well, he's not a leader." Well, big effing deal. Maybe he won't need to be the full team leader in Washington. Well, he had his coach in Indy was his quarterback's. Well, there's a difference from a coordinator or QB coach or whatever to then you're dealing with that guy as your head coach.
Right.
Head coach there's a difference. So maybe I could see Rivera getting him worked better than, right. Maybe the mindset, remember, is he's never worked with Ron Rivera. He had Reich as I don't know what the hell he was, a coordinator or coach, QB coach, but that there's a difference with that than there is with the as a head coach. Head coach, you have to do what he says. As a quarterback's coach or coordinator, you're just taking the plays or he's working with you to be a better quarterback. Right. So that's why he did good there in Philly. Maybe that was the issue, was he just couldn't get adjusted to that head coach mentality from the guy that was his buddy.
He got hurt.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing. That's the other thing. Now, as long as he can stay protected in Washington, I think he'll be okay. Am I satisfied with it? I'm going to learn to be. I mean, I could be pissed right now, but when the season starts, I'm going to be rooting for him.
Man.
Well, the thing is, I can gripe about it now. See, week 1 of the NFL season, I'll be rooting for him because it's a difference. I can gripe now, but when the season starts, it's a different thing. It's one thing in the offseason versus when the season starts. I feel bad. I'm still trying to figure out how to feel happy for the Seahawks with Drew Lock. But hey, Drew's got a damn good coach teaching him. I mean, the guy had Russell Wilson for years, and now you get to, I think that's an upgrade for him for head coach. So maybe that'll help him out too. That might actually be a good thing if they end up staying with Drew and they don't get some Baker or Jimmy or somebody. I think that's actually a good thing for him. Let's see. Amari Cooper left, which I think we already discussed that one. So those are the recent stuff we kind of went over. Shelby Harris from the Broncos to the Seahawks. I don't know if there's any recent signings, signing wise, that I can see any big names. If you got anything, pull it. Go ahead. I'm gonna sim through and see if we got anybody. 49ers signed somebody.
Yeah, somebody.
Well, Ray. Hey, they got Ray McLeod from the Steelers.
Yeah. They also got Hasty. Yeah, let's just move on, man. Let's just move on.
Let's see, we got any good terminations?
Nah, hey, shout out to Carolina Panthers. They got Dante Foreman, Rashad Higgins, DJ Moore. Hey, signed a 3-year contract extension for $61.9. They got OG Austin Corbett, center. They got a Bradley. They got Marcus Haynes. They got. They've done a lot of re-signing. A lot of people getting paid. Re-sign 31.5. Dante Jackson, the cornerback. Safety Sean Chandler. He re-signed. Xavier Woods. He signed to a $15.75 million contract. Hell, they even signed the damn punter to a 3-year deal.
God almighty.
They're doing a lot. Tampa Bay is working.
Dak is even getting out there chatting away, saying he has no doubt CeeDee Lamb is ready to replace Amari Cooper as the main guy.
Can I tell you something?
Go for it.
Lamb's pretty damn good.
He was. As a Washington fan, I hope he's wrong. But as a fan of just the NFL overall, and as a sports, reporter type person, we have a podcast, so we get to talk about that stuff. He was fantastic last season, and he wasn't even the main guy. That's how good the guy is.
Exactly.
You want a guy that's what was he, second or third receiver?
I would have probably put him second, really, but I think he was like the third.
I think he was listed as the third string, but the fact that he got upgraded from third to first, that shows you how good he was, because they could have gotten somebody else. Hell, there were people in free agency I'm sure they could have signed. Who doesn't want to sign with quote unquote America's team? That's debatable, but bravo. I think that's a good thing for the Cowboys. Now they actually have to do something, which we know won't happen, but that's beside the point. You knew I was going to do
it. I knew you was going to go there. I knew you were going to go there.
Ranking wise, though, this is what I think is awesome. So the Bills hit number one after the first wave of free agency. The Bills hit number one, and the Bucks and the Broncos move up 14 spots.
Yes. After
just 1 week of trading. The Bills went from ranking third to number one. They moved up 2 spots. And that was just because they got Von Miller. They got a few other people here and there. The Rams dropped down to number 2. Chiefs are number 3. I have the Chiefs even. Well, I guess they did. They parted ways with Tyrann Mathieu.
The Chiefs signed a good receiver.
Yeah, hey, they got Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah,
I that's a hell of an acquisition.
He's going to get some of those long bombs are going to be coming to him.
Just think what Mahomes has now. He's got Juju, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce.
Come on.
God, I feel bad for the AFC in general. Jesus. Yeah. I didn't, you don't even, when you see these moves, there's times you just don't, it doesn't register. And then when you sit there and you're like, all right, Patrick Mahomes, let's see, who's his receivers now? Oh shit, Juju. Oh shit, Tyreek Hill. Oh damn, Travis Kelce. Well, we're doomed. Like, how do you, as a defensive coordinator, I'd be like, well, throw the clipboard. I don't know what the hell to do. Because that's a hell of a lineup.
And Tyreek Hill, he can burn you. He can zigzag and go and take it to the house.
But they said so. They're hoping that Justin Reed will fill the void. He's younger, potentially less expensive. Now that may, but who the hell cares? You still got 3 other people that your defenses are not going to know what the hell to do. The Bengals are still at 4. Did they really do anything? They got Burrow's still on the rookie deal for at least one more season.
They're overhyping the Bengals, man. I'm sorry, they're overhyping. The Bengals.
Well, the Bucs are in 5th place. They moved up 14 spots. They went from 19th to 5th. Basically because Brady coming back. I love that they say, well, in a stunning reversal, dude. There was no question he just needed a break for like a month.
I'm telling you right now, you guys hear. Guys are doing their homework and they're looking at Chase Burrow's guy, and they're gonna like, okay, this is what he does. They're gonna find out his tangible what he does, and they're gonna shut him down.
So, but they've got a new contract for Godwin. Carlton Davis got a new contract. Their center Ryan Jensen got a new contract. They just re-signed Leonard Fournette. Yes. They filled a need at guard. They traded for Shaq Mason. Which that helps. And then Russell Gage they picked up. That's another one. I think Russell Gage is a great replacement for Antonio Brown. Not only is he a good receiver, but hey, you definitely know you don't have to worry about some weird ass jumping jack drama or off the field drama. So it'll be interesting. I think the only thing left really for them is going to be is Gronk, really, and there's no question in my mind that Gronk will be coming back. He will be playing with Tom Brady again next year. That's not a question.
Because if I say no, he'll come back. So I'm just gonna be quiet. I did that with Tom Brady.
Yeah. So the 40. Hey, at least with the Niners, they're still sitting at 6. They haven't done a whole lot, but they still are at 6. Jimmy's somehow still hanging by a thread. I don't understand how he's even hanging around. But
I retweeted a picture of your boy Lance throwing to Ayuk.
I saw.
They're working together. That's good.
So,
that's a good sign.
Well, it says, but I saw the Trey Lance. Jimmy remains on the roster nearly a week into the new league year. I think, and the question was, has Jimmy's shoulder surgery affected the market? I think so. I think that because that was his throwing shoulder. I think that dropped his tradability down, his value down, and I think that's gonna. It says it's hard to say, but John Lynch knows he remains in good position. Jimmy is a proven entity under center. Well, that's debatable. Lynch, you may have taken one too many hits, with the Bucs during your years.
Winner. He's got.
I know. And he says there are a host of teams in the market for a passer, in a year when the incoming draft class at quarterback is thought to be far less promising. Yeah, and I've been saying that I don't think that this year overall draft is going to be a great draft. Quarterback wise, that's not so much. I think this is going to be the year we're going to see offense, defense, special teams, receivers getting drafted more than quarterbacks. I still think we'll see quarterbacks.
Get some offensive linemen, man. Get some big cow-eating, steak-eating boys.
I want to see some defense. I would love to see some defensive people getting drafted, like that played like the Dana Stubblefield and Bryant Young guys did back in the 90s in the Niners heyday. Those two were a beast. So, Jimmy for Baker, I don't see it. They are. Why would the Brown? They're and not unless it was like a 3-way trade. That's the only way I could see that happening. There's no way.
Jimmy G is gonna be like, and what money am I getting?
What money do you have left? This check. I want cash because I know this check is gonna bounce.
Because Deshaun done ate that all up.
Yeah, And the fact that the Browns want to bring Odell back, Odell's going to be like, how you going to pay me in cash? Because your check's going to bounce. I don't see that. So then you got the Packers. They actually dropped 2 spots. They went from number 5 to 7th. And I think that's because of the Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, dude.
To be honest, I did not see that coming. I was really thinking he would have stayed there, but it says they got 2 premium draft picks. I mean, is 2 premium? What is 2 premium draft picks to Adams to losing that? Like, that's not going to fill that void, because we're going to see. I think when the season starts off, it may not look that bad, but as it progresses,
but in all due respect, though, I've seen Aaron Rodgers throw to people like Donald Driver.
no, I'm not knocking, I'm not discrediting Rodgers on that part because he has the ability to do that just like Brady did. Brady for years was able to do that with Belichick. With these unknown guys, I'm like, who the hell is this?
The guy that throws those spirals in those tight holes. That's the guy,
So the Chargers went from 11th, they moved up to 8th. They got Khalil Mack, which it says it was a smart trade with the Bears. I'm just like,
I'm surprised you ain't mentioned your boy Trubisky.
I haven't gotten that far down yet. I'm working team by team. We'll go over each of them because then I can kind of pick out what our thoughts are. Like Khalil Mack, good for the Chargers or a loss for the Bears? I mean, it's the Bears, so we really can't say much.
The worst thing I hate to see is a talent wasted on a team that's just like, if you're in rebuilding mode and you're just holding on to something and you can get some picks or let them go. And, hey, I've seen him. Like I've seen Khalil Mack live.
He has had some good moments, so maybe the change of scenery will be good for him.
Raiders, I remember when he played for the Raiders. I thought that was stupid. I thought that was stupid to give him up to Chicago. And
that could have very easily been the issue with him as he played for Chicago. Let's be honest, Chicago hasn't had really good defenses since Urlacher retired, in my opinion.
Hey, let me tell you something. Getting out of cold weather, coming to sunny California, might do you some good.
Yeah. Hey, look what it did for Matthew Stafford. Well, that could have also been he had some good drinking water. No, just kidding. It might have been a lot of things.
Sometimes change is good, and it's also chemistry between players and coaches. So.
Yeah, so the Broncos shot up 14 spots. They went from 23rd to 9th, and we all know that was literally just because Russell.
Yeah.
So the new catchphrase for the Broncos is Broncos Country, let's ride. Russell Wilson has arrived with a new catchphrase and the promise to save the good people of Denver from quarterback purgatory. Man, it sounds like the theme to a movie. It sounds like a listing for a movie, an upcoming movie.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. There's, it says the Broncos went from pretender to contender overnight when they acquired Peyton Manning in the spring of 2012. I don't know if this is going to be. They're going to be able to pull the same thing off with Wilson. I know I'm sure I said that last week or the week before after the trade went down, but I don't know. It will be interesting to see. I think that moves them up to definitely not. They're not Super Bowl contenders, that's for sure. But I think they have a strong shot at the playoffs easily.
You forget, I've seen Russell win games by him damn self, where he had to put the team some time. Like I've seen him put the Seahawks on his shoulders and win games.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
The
Titans dropped 2 spots. They went from 8th down to 10th now. Julio Jones trade didn't work out. The Titans aren't giving up on their quest to find a complement to A.J. Brown on Saturday. Days after cutting ties with Jones after one sad season, they acquired wide receiver Robert Woods from the Rams. And they only had to give up a 6th-round pick. That's actually pretty good.
That is damn good. Robert Woods is a stud, man. I mean...
Now, I know he is recovering from a torn ACL, but I would imagine he should be 100%. He should be clear by the season. But look, a healthy Derrick Henry, a healthy Robert Woods. That's that they're saying. As long as the two of them are healthy, there's Woods that could go down as one of the best moves any team made this offseason.
Forget, but they didn't have Henry, and they were still winning games without Henry.
Yeah,
and getting Henry. Oh my God, man, that's a 200-yard rusher again. I mean, guy, he wasn't doing 100 yards. He was doing like over 200 yards.
Yeah, he was. He. I think he forgot what decade we were in because the way he was running like it was the 90s again in the early 2000s. Bro, I think he thought this was like the era of Emmitt Smith. and some of these other guys because it's been a long time since I've seen teams that that's all they run first and occasionally pass.
I've seen him,
and it is fun
when he's trucking. I've seen him knock fools out the way.
It was fun watching him. The Raiders, they moved up 4 spots, but they made some good acquisitions. Chandler Jones was signed. They got Max Crosby. The biggest one was Devontae Adams. I mean, that's obvious. Now, yes, he performed at a Hall of Fame level, but look who his quarterback was. Now, he's also young. He's only 29. Mm-hmm. Is he going to perform the same with Derek Carr? Carr's a good quarterback.
Right.
I don't think he's ever had a truly spectacular receiver until now. So it will be fun to see what he does with him.
And they did sign Amir Abdullah. They did sign Brandon Bolden. These are guys that, spot fillers that can come in and try and help. They also got Demarcus Robinson. They got Jacob Hollister.
And they got an all-world. Look, they've got you're putting Devontae Adams with an all-world tight end, Darren Waller. That's almost Derek Carr's just sitting there back like, yes, my precious. Bring me more people.
What you want, Devontae or Waller, the baller? I mean,
just like what else do you need, Carr? The head coach. Carr's just got to be sitting there like.
They got to get their running back healthy though, man. They got to keep.
That's the big thing.
Jacobs, they got to keep this guy healthy.
He's a good. He was a good. Yeah, he's just. So the Cowboys, unfortunately, have dropped 5 spots. They're now ranked 12th. They were active the first week, but they don't look any better. So Amari Cooper was moved to the Browns on a salary cap dump. Nothing. Sometimes you can't do much. Salary cap makes it hard to keep players you may want. Lael Collins was released in another cost-cutting move. Randy Gregory backed out of an agreement with Dallas to sign with the Broncos. I still think that I don't know with that one. He's got issues anyways, so I don't know if that's going to hurt. But they did get a new deal done with DeMarcus Lawrence. That's good. They got Michael Gallup, so they won't leave that. But finding a pass rushing replacement for Gregory. They got Dante Fowler, but
that's a 1-year contract.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's not a replacement to fill the void. You're gonna see Ron.
Colin Kaepernick's available. No, he's not.
Let me check my Twitter feed. Oh no, he's unavailable.
He's like, man, I'm done with the NFL, man. I'm doing movies.
The NFL is done with him. But the problem is he keeps posting shit to say, hey, I'm available, guys. And the Seahawks are like, we're gonna stick with Drew Lock. The Steelers are like, well, we got that Mason kid and we got that Dwayne Haskins that doesn't.
I ain't gonna lie, man. It's like earlier. Back when he was still around, I was like, dude, get him in. He can still play, but not you're
5 years out, dude. You haven't played an NFL. And you can only work out so much outside of an NFL thing. It's one thing to work out and say, yeah, I'm in shape and I'm throwing passes to high school kids.
They'll bring Ray Rice back before they bring Colin Kaepernick.
Oh shit!
Was that too early?
Nah. He's a good guy, right? No, that was.
That's right.
The Patriots actually dropped spots. They went down too, which is unusual for the Patriots. But I never count Belichick out of anything, though. But it says the Bills were busy inking Von Miller to a mega deal. The Pats mostly stood well pat in the first week of free agency. Belichick had no interest in keeping J.C. Jackson in the building. He signed with the Chargers. The move to trade sturdy right guard Shaq Mason for a 5th-round draft pick served as a head-scratcher for many Patriots fans, still stinging from an embarrassing blowout loss in Buffalo. They did keep some continuity in the offense. They re-signed Trent Brown.
They re-signed James White.
Yeah.
They still got Brian Hoyer. Wow.
The Browns are at 14th. Their previous ranking still 4. They didn't even move up with Watson, and it says I don't agree with this part here. From a pure football perspective, it's a no-brainer. Deshaun Watson is one of the best quarterbacks in football. Sam Bradford. Damn.
Sam Bradford.
You know what? I can see who was Mr. Butt Fumble, because I could see him getting signed. He would probably get signed.
Mark Sanchez.
Sanchez would get signed probably before Kaepernick would.
Sam Bradford made a ton.
Bradford was a good quarterback. You know another one that let Jake Plummer, Jake the Snake Plummer.
Hey, I love me some Jake Plummer, man. Love Jake Plummer. I love. Wait a minute. Did you like him when he played for the Cardinals, or did you like him when he played for Denver?
I kind of liked him more with Denver.
Yeah, me too.
He was a little bit more aggressive, and he had, he was a little bit I think he did better there. But there's, the whole thing, the issue that I have with Watson, obviously, I'm trying to figure out how he avoided criminal charges, but he still faces, and what gets me is he faces 22 civil lawsuits. And there's and the NFL and Roger Goodell, where are you at? Anybody? He's nowhere. But Brady, he will come down like Zeus.
Balls, it just doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand the logic with what he does. He didn't. You give a slap on the wrist to certain people. You just completely ignore other Watson. And then Brady does one bad thing, or supposedly maybe he did it. I don't know if he did. I think he was innocent.
I wanted to say the reason why the Browns are not moving on the list is because we've seen this before when they had Hunt, they had Chubb, they had ODB, they had Baker Mayfield, they had a roster, a stacked roster. And what did they do? And with Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper.
Well, it looks like, and they're saying it this way: Cleveland brass decided the PR backlash and any disillusionment amongst the fan base would ultimately be outweighed by the benefits of landing a franchise quarterback after decades in the wilderness.
Right.
The Browns have consistently made smart moves in recent years, but you wonder if this seismic decision is one they're going to regret. I think it is. Kids will never know about
that. Let me tell you, Devin Hester was a beast.
Oh my God! I remember watching his special teams. Oh, his special teams was highlight reel worthy. I would put him on if you're special teams wise, he was on the same level as Prime Time.
I agree. Because idiot kickers would kick to him. And I'm like, don't you kick to him. Oh!
No, and it would. And that's one of the things that I hated about the new rules, that they basically took away special teams on kickoffs and stuff with the shortened field crap. The Ravens, they dropped 3 spots. I didn't even know the Ravens were even doing anything. The Ravens, now they have another reason to dislike their rival Browns after. I'm not going to listen to anything when it comes to rivalries and things like that if they put Watson's name in it, because I have to see how his play is going to be on the field, because the guy hasn't played in ages. I don't like Lamar Jackson anyway.
Yeah,
he's a good Lamar Jackson is a good running back. He's an okay quarterback. Dante Hall was.
Hall was a stud, man. He was another stud.
The Colts, Colts dropped down to 7th. Goodbye, Carson Wentz. Hello, Matt Ryan. The Colts found their new, old quarterback on Monday.
He can still throw the ball. They got a running back.
Did you know? I actually heard through some sources that there were a few teams that were trying to get Andrew Luck out of retirement. They'd already contacted him before some of these other deals were finalized. They were willingly trying to get him out. They actually got through to him, but it didn't go anywhere because some of these other deals went through. So that's interesting. This will be the 5th, but this is what's sad for the Colts is This will be the 5th different week 1 quarterback in 5 years for the Colts. They've had a different quarterback basically once a year. They got a new one. They went from Andrew Luck to Jacoby Brissett to Phillip Rivers to Wentz to Ryan. That is a lot of quarterbacks.
Patrick Manning was the man.
Yeah. Well, and you see, if you see this trend, they're doing the same thing now that the Broncos have been doing since Peyton retired.
Yeah.
And that some of these, like, I almost want to say that it's a problem when you have one quarterback that commands your team for so long that when they leave, what the hell, you don't know what to do anymore.
Because that's
look at the Patriots.
Bad management. Always. That's why you get.
I'm not saying that the Patriots should have gotten rid of Brady, because that would have been the dumbest move. Because Brady's not. We got to just factor Brady out of this, because Brady's up here at this level, and everybody else is on the regular level. Brady is like a god compared to everybody else. But the problem is, the longer you have these quarterbacks at one team as the starter for so long, right, you don't know what else to do. I mean, the Colts or the Chargers, they had Phillip Rivers for a long time. Now, granted, they didn't have to worry about it because his replacement kind of worked out. Right. But look at the Saints. That's another one. You had Drew Brees down there for basically his entire career, minus the little bit he wasn't. And look what happened once he retired. They still don't know what to do. The Giants, another one. You had Eli Manning for basically the moment he was drafted, and now look where they are. They're not different quarterbacks every different year, but I don't. Sorry, but I don't put a. They don't have.
Respect. There's been times that they thought that they got somebody's replacement.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying. Yeah, the Cardinals had that happen. They had a few bonehead players and then they got lucky with picking up a Hall of Famer named Kurt Warner, and who should have won the Super Bowl, but they. That was.
It was Matt. It was, oh my God, what was it? He played with USC with what's his name? Matt Leinart. Matt Leinart.
Oh my, yeah, yep. He was the. Oh God, he was an idiot.
It was him. And
God,
Kurt.
he was.
And they said, "Sorry, Matt, you got to sit down." And they had to get Kurt. And Kurt's like, "Let me show you how it's done, boy." And
then he went.
Almost.
They traded him. They traded Leinart to Miami, or I think he went to Miami, and then he was done after that. He had some partying issues that he dealt with, and then he was no more.
Matt, when he was back with USC, him and the running back. Oh my God, who's the guy that went with Kim Kardashian? His name is at the tip of my tongue.
I can't think of it.
He was a hell of a running back.
Yeah,
he was the Saints. Yeah.
So the Cardinals, they dropped 4 spots. They're now ranked 17th. They had the whole soap opera stuff with with Kyler. With good old Murray, he didn't know what to do, so he said, "Yeah, I don't want to be here. I'm gonna delete all my Cardinals social media. No, never mind. The season's gonna start. I'm gonna put it all back."
Grossman is available. No, thank you.
Oh my God. Oh God. It'll be interesting. There's still uncertainty, I think, from what I'm hearing in Arizona with regards to Murray. They said basically if contract extensions don't take off, he's going to hold a high stakes holdout. I don't know if he would pull
There's nowhere he can go. There's nowhere.
Yeah, that's the problem. Are you really going to pull a Deshaun Watson and sit and risk your future? Because remember, when you sit out, you don't get to go in this. You don't get to go with the team. You don't get to go use the facilities. You got to figure out how to work out and still do that high pace, that high level of working out, the NFL level, and that you can't do that outside the NFL. It just doesn't work like that. Now, the Cardinals used the first week. They did lock up James Conner. They got Zach Ertz on new deals. Chandler Jones left town to sign with the Raiders. I think that's going to be that puts a hole on their defense. The Eagles, they dropped 2 spots, but they, my thing was, remember, the Eagles were wanted to go after the Eagles. initially wanted to go and get Watson. But my thing is when they said, never mind, what does that do to the psyche of Jalen Hurts? You were sold on him all last season, and then you're like, well, we don't really think you're the guy. We're going to get Watson. No, never mind. We're not going. We're out of the Watson. We don't want Watson. He doesn't want to play for us. We're back on you, Hurts. You're number one, man. What does that do? Like,
it's business, nothing personal.
No, I get that yes, it's business. Now, if Hurts can understand that great. It's not going to affect him. But part of me thinks that there's a little bit that could have a resentment, or maybe it'll put a chip on his shoulder, and it's going to make him prove himself even more. Because we've seen that has happened with certain quarterbacks, that didn't get drafted by a team they wanted to play for. Yeah. They go to somebody else, and then they become an asshole. But it makes them better. Like Roger, God, I can't even say his name. But Rodgers, prime example of that. He wanted to get drafted by the Niners. They passed on him, took Alex Smith. Mm-hmm. Rodgers has a chip on his shoulder the rest of his career, but it has helped him. So this may end up helping Hurts along. I don't know. They got Hassan Reddick to a multi-year deal, so that's a good sign. 27 years old, and he had 23 and a half sacks over 2 seasons. That's pretty damn good.
Signing Zach Pascal agrees to a 1-year deal. They signed Greg Ward. I like the Boston Scott for the $1.75 million. He was actually doing pretty good. Plus, he gets incentives. He gets the $1.1 million guaranteed. But he's got a little.
Well, the biggest one that I still don't understand was with the Vikings, and they got Captain Kirk Cousins. They got him signed again.
Yeah,
and there's people that have said he has got to be the greatest American businessman since Andrew Carnegie. Because this dude has been able to finagle so much money out of Minnesota for playing at a mediocre level. It just baffles the mind. They did, however, they've been quite in free agency, but they did restructure a contract with Thielen. They signed Harrison Phillips. They said, see you later to Michael Pierce.
Right.
And they got a new defensive coordinator, so it looks like they're going to be going more 3-4 this year. Steelers, they moved up 2 spots, but they did get a new contract for a new QB. They picked up Mitchell Trubisky.
What do you think about that?
He's got a good coach.
Yeah.
I think if he can turn it around, if anybody can get him to turn it around, I think coach-wise, I would put faith in him and Tomlin to fix the issues that Trubisky has. He's still young. He's only 27.
What up, Kevin?
What's going on? Finally home.
To listen to you yeah, we only got a couple of minutes.
I mean, we could go a little longer to finish out the list and catch up. We'll keep it a little bit longer for you, buddy. I want to see him do better. I would love to see him succeed. I get he's listed as a bust as a number 2 pick, but he was with the Bears. That's the thing is he was with the Bears. It's like what we can say the same about Matthew Stafford. Why he never succeeded. He was with the Lions. Look what happened when he left. I think this is actually going to be a good thing for Trubisky. He's 27. He's a mobile quarterback, which is another good thing.
That's a good thing, they
and the Steelers do well with mobile quarterbacks.
Right.
I mean, they haven't had one except when Grandpa Ben tried to run. And we'll give. But see, it'll give that mobility gives Pittsburgh things in the second half, late in the game, that Ben couldn't do because either he's just too fucking big, or I think it's a good one. I think this is going to be good.
The weather is cold out there. He's used to rain. He's used to cold. I think he'll do okay. I think
the Dolphins actually they dropped a spot, but I actually think it was a good thing that they avoided the Deshaun Watson fiasco. I really would not have wanted to see Watson go there because the Dolphins were starting to slowly turn it around. Waddle was probably the highlight of last season.
Right.
He surprised the hell out of me last year. They did get they slapped the franchise tag on Gesicki. good idea. You don't want to lose him. They added Cedric Wilson. They got Teddy Bridgewater. Great. That's a good thing to back up. That maybe that might give Tua the push to compete. Because I could see if there was a competition, I could see Teddy trying to gunning for that number one spot for the starting role, and I think that will help. Either way, that's a win for the Dolphins to have two good quarterbacks. I've given Tua a lot of slack because I wasn't sold on the draft at the time because of his injury, and he didn't finish his college career. So I thought that was going to hold him back. But he showed signs. He's proven me wrong, and he showed spurts here and there. So I think that's going to be good to see those two. They got Chase Edmonds. They got Raheem Mostert.
You got one thing now. You got a new coach.
Yep, you got Mike McDaniel as the new coach. He appears ready to use the running back by committee style that served Kyle Shanahan.
See,
do you think that will work though?
No, I just don't. I'm just being honest. I just don't see. I mean, I don't see Miami going deep. I just see them doing but I don't see them going.
How do you see most Raheem fitting in there, doing in Miami? Because he did good in San Fran.
The only
he had signs here and there.
I've seen him live. I've seen him run. The only thing that scares me, he runs hard, and he runs so hard he gets injured all the time. The man gets hurt because he runs so hard, But
and they don't really have a deep. I mean, and maybe it'll work out with utilizing that duo, alternating between Chase Edmond, and Raheem. The Saints, we know the Saints tried to go after Deshaun as well. I don't understand all these teams that thought that let's go for Deshaun because that's the smart thing. I get a lot of it. I think was just the age. He's young.
I think
you can fix all the issues.
I think he sent the videotape. Hey guys, just wanted to show you I'm working out. I'm doing all. I don't know what. Like, what did he do? He played football. What did he do?
I don't know how you let a guy sit on the bench for a year and then give him a massive $250 million fully guaranteed contract.
But then you got to think also. Remember when he was back with the Texans and he had Andre Hopkins, he had Fuller.
He did. He was fantastic back then.
Okay,
so I will agree that he did look great then. Now,
but not $200 and something million.
No. When he had all these great players, that was not $250 million fully guaranteed great. That was that was like maybe, I don't even put that at the Kirk Cousins level great. But I'm glad that the Saints re-signed Jameis Winston. That I'm glad at because he is a good quarterback, and I think he is going to step up to the plate now. I'm hoping he does. As long as he can stay healthy, he's grown. He had a great coach to learn, quarterback to learn from.
His interviews, he like that's in the past. I want to play football. Yeah.
I think he'll do good.
They still don't miss Drew though.
Oh yeah, I know they are. They are. Panthers, they moved up 7 spots. They of course obviously failed to land Matthew Stafford last year. They didn't get Deshaun. They're another one of those that are stuck in
Baker Mayfield. Charlotte.
Sam Darnold. Hey, Sammy boy has another year of guaranteed money coming his way. But we also know that we could see them draft, or Baker is the talk right now. But it'll be interesting. Christian McCaffrey remains on the roster despite he's on the trade block. Finding a taker for his contract and all the injury concerns might be, actually, they're saying that could be an issue. I don't see it. I could see Washington.
Well, shit, he's running, he's catching, he's doing all the work.
I could see Christian end up with Washington because of Rivera. I don't say it. I'm not going to say that it will happen, but I could very easily see him ending up there.
Hey, you know what? That would talk Commander salute. That would be awesome.
I could very easily see a potential reunion between Rivera and McCaffrey. The Seahawks, they bumped down 3 spots because they're, but their issue is they've had over a decade of not having to worry about looking for a quarterback. You had Wilson. You were in that safe zone for a decade, and now you're like, oh shit, what do we do? Right now Drew's is the starter. Is that going to last? I don't know. You ask Pete Carroll, he's going to say, "Is this a second chance for Drew?" Heck yeah, it is. Well, obviously he's going to say that they just traded away, the other guy, traded away Wilson. Of course, he's not going to be like, "Well, no, we're still looking for a replacement." Now, if he could get his hands, if the Seahawks got Jimmy, let's say, would that be an upgrade? From Drew Lock, it would. Still a downgrade from Wilson, but it's an upgrade from what they currently have.
San Francisco want to see Jimmy come into San Francisco, Santa Clara, and see Seahawks, man.
Yeah. The Bears, man, they are just a train wreck as well. They got rid of Khalil Mack. Now that was more of a financial thing, which sucks. But you gotta, at some point, you gotta help Justin Fields. I feel bad for the kid because he's a good quarterback, but he's just got nothing around him. I mean, not as bad as like Carolina got nothing around me to protect me and I'm running for my life.
Not only that, but you have to make plays that are made for his skill sets. If you don't, that's the problem with some of these teams. You don't make the plays to utilize the skills.
Why do you think Kirk Cousins landed an $80 million 3-year fully guaranteed contract with Minnesota? Because in Washington, Kyle Shanahan, guess what he did? He made Kirk Cousins look like Tom Brady, a Hall of Famer, because he built that entire offense, and that whole scheme was literally built around Cousins' talents and his skills to make him look that good. That's the only reason he played that well, because look what happened when he went to Minnesota. Subpar, mediocre, good on occasionally, but he did not play. He has not, the whole time he has been in Minnesota, he has never once played at that high level that he played in Washington because they have yet to build that offense around his talents. And I've never understood. If you brought him in, you obviously had to know that, but maybe they didn't, and they just thought he was really that good.
Hey, look, Adam Thielen, Cook, those are some and Jefferson. Those are some.
Jefferson is one of the, not only are the Viking fans loving Jefferson, which I live in Minnesota, so I know this. Packers fans are just fuming still. To this day, they are still pissed because they got stuck with Jordan Love when they could have had Justin Jefferson.
Well, now you know. I mean,
it's that what if? Well, God, what could Justin have done if we had drafted him? Well, he probably would have had a hell of a career already.
Right.
But Washington, we dropped down the slot from 25th. We're almost at dead last at 26 because we just had to go after Carson, and he just wants to be loved, guys. But he ain't getting it from me yet. He's got to prove his love. He's got to prove it to get my love. I still think they should have kept Heineke. They're saying Wentz profiles as an upgrade over the inconsistent Taylor Heineke. In my opinion, he was not inconsistent. You had a shitty line. You weren't able to. You had running backs that were injured half the time. You had only one good receiver. Our offensive line was basically garbage. We had nobody protecting him. I don't care who the hell you are. We could have put Aaron Rodgers behind that Washington line last year. He would have looked like He would have looked like Rex Grossman running for his damn life, and he would not have looked like a Hall of Famer. Nobody.
But there's so much other thing that goes into it.
Well, and our defense couldn't do shit either last year. So
you're going to see lots of kids in D.C. and parts of Virginia and other parts wearing a Carson Wentz Commander jersey. marketing. And some guys look at old tapes and they live in the past and they're like, you know what?
Yeah.
If I had that talent, this is what I
Well,
could do.
they're saying, though, but you wonder if Washington would have ultimately been better off finding a cheaper solution on the open market. Wentz hasn't been a special player for a long time, and it's telling that two teams have now cut ties with the former number 2 overall pick in as many years. Perhaps Wentz can rediscover his 2017 form with the standout performing supporting cast. That's just not something the Commanders have at the moment. Now, maybe he can. I don't know. Like I said, my expectations for him are going to be at the bottom because that way I can move up as he does well, and I can go back down when he fails, if he fails. Maybe I'm hoping to God he will surprise me, but I'm not going to be one of those fans that's like, oh my God, we're going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I will still say that anyways because I do every year, but my expectations for my team are going to be probably base level because I expected my defense to be top 5 last year like they should have been, and they were garbage. So I'm holding myself in check this year because I want them to prove.
I got to give him a chance. I mean, he's got Jonathan as a running back. He's a stud running back.
Yep.
I mean, we got to see Super Bowl champion Carson Wentz. Well, honestly,
Ron,
that was Nick Foles. I'm sorry. That should have been Super Bowl champion Nick Foles.
If Carson Wentz takes Washington to the Super Bowl this year, dude, I'm going to get banned from every platform possible, everywhere, because the internet will literally self-implode with the amount of trolling that I will do. But we know that ain't going to happen. So, the Falcons, they dropped another one. They traded Ryan on Monday. They sent their franchise's all-time passing leader to the Colts. And started their new era for Falcons football. Goes to Marcus Mariota. Now it does give him some mobility, though. Mariota is a little bit more mobile than Matty Ice was, but that's age does that to some. Although unless you're Tom Brady, because Brady can still run for some. I don't understand him.
I get worried when I see him run because if he gets hit,
Mariota.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the Jets dropped another spot as well. They went down to 28th. Said GM Joe Douglas sets a price on free agents and doesn't go above that number. So the days of seeing the Jets throwing money like it's funny money around at the likes of Le'Veon Bell, Trumaine Johnson are over. Now you're going to just see a series of sensible signings made. Douglas has made. He brought in cornerback DJ Reed, safety Jordan Whitehead, tight ends C.J. Uzma and Tyler Conklin. All address significant trouble areas. I would really like to see the Jets do better. They're one of those teams that are so far in the gutter that I would love to see them do better. Just to get a little laugh. I don't see it happening. The Jets are like the NFL worst playoff drought possible, so I don't know if they're going to do anything. Then you got the Lions who dropped to 29th. They didn't really have far to fall. They went from 28th to 29th. I guess they're giving Jared Goff another year to prove himself. They brought in DJ Shark on a 1-year deal, so that may help him.
They got Khalif Raymond. They got Josh Reynolds.
They
tight end Garrett Griffin.
Well, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown. T.J. Hawkinson is in the backfield. You got DeAndre Swift. They have the makings of a good team, of a good offense. So Goff, I don't know what was going on that first year, but maybe year 2. But then again, if you look, remember,
wait, games.
But yeah, I know that's the thing. But remember, Goff, year 1 with the Rams, he did shit. They thought he was a bust. Year 2, he was fantastic. It was just like what was it? Wentz. Was Wentz the one that had a shitty first year also and then did phenomenal his second year? Around the same time as
I think Wentz was always a stud, man.
There was another one that whoever came in with Goff around that got drafted right around the same time as the same year as Goff. they both had similarities with that first year crap, second year. So maybe Goff will turn it around because this is the same thing. Oh, Kevin said Wentz and Goff. Yeah,
but
I remember Jared Goff
Wentz
had a really.
But Wentz was not. Everybody was talking crap about Wentz, and Wentz went off.
Yeah, well, and Jared didn't go off until his second season, so maybe that is what's going to happen. We'll see happen because remember, even when Matthew Stafford was in Detroit, they weren't like they just couldn't win. They had close games, but last year they kept losing. But it wasn't like blowout losses. These were like close games.
Because you let people like Brady come back. They're not clutch. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be like the Russell Wilsons, the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's. They're clutch.
Yep. Well, hell, even Eli Manning was like that when he played.
The guys smacking balls up against their heads and holding it. God, that was
Well, and speaking of Eli, the Giants dropped down. They're ranked 30th now, but they did add Tyrod Taylor. And I watched Victor's show Thursday. Listened to them talking about the fact that Tyrod could give them Daniel Jones a run for his money. I could see. I mean, Tyrod. Let's be real. He didn't do horrible in Houston. Maybe I don't see him getting the starting job, but I think he could. If you push, this could be the push that Daniel needs to get to the next level.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to happen. The only issue that I see them having more is at running back because is Saquon ready? Is he going to step up and be the Saquon Barkley we remember?
They did,
or is it time to move on?
They signed Matt Breida, which he's actually a pretty good running back, and they signed your boy Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yeah. Well, my thing is with Saquon is it time to move on? Is it the Giants' time? Do they need to move on from him, or
no? Man, you know, you got to give a guy a chance to. People don't heal that quick. You got to give him a chance.
Well, yeah, that is true. Because even Gronk, look, why do you think Gronk retired when he retired before he came back? Yeah. He even said it. He retired because he just couldn't do it. His body was just
his arm robotic.
Yeah, he
braces on his arm.
I mean, well, then again, he also tried to do talk shows and things like that, and I was just like, Gronk, no. Right. You can stay on Family Guy; they can fix you there. Right. But dude, you are just not the comedic kind of person, unless you're teamed up with Tom Brady. Then it's okay. The Jaguars moved up. They're not dead last. they're 31st, but they're not dead last. I think the biggest issue with Jacksonville last year was their coach. Actually, there was a rumor though spreading around that Urban Meyer didn't even know who the hell Aaron Donald was. I was like, damn, you really got to be not ready to be in the big leagues if you don't know who that man is.
Well, here's the thing that they signed Christian Kirk.
I think that's a good acquisition.
$72 million. All
right, maybe not a good acquisition. Maybe not financially.
$37 million guaranteed. I
don't know about all that. Then never mind. Now I will say they got a damn good. They picked up for offensive guard. They have a fantastic guard in Brandon Scherf. He was one of the best. I wish that Washington would have kept him. He wanted to stay in Washington, and we don't have a lot of players that come out and vocally say, "I want to stay in Washington."
Hey,
that's like saying, "I want to stay in Detroit." We don't have a lot of that.
He was also Evan Ingram too.
Ingram was another good signing. Scherf was fantastic at Iowa. He was a damn good offensive guard for the Hawkeyes, which was why I'm a Hawkeyes fan, so I was excited when Washington drafted him, and I was upset when they let him go because I think Daniel Snyder somehow got his greasy mitts into releasing some of these players. But bravo to the Jacksonville. I will say you guys have a fantastic guard to protect your quarterback because that Trevor Lawrence, he definitely needed it. Yeah. I'm hoping he has I don't think I don't even want to put all of the blame on him for last season because there was just a whole shit ton of issues with that. That was just a train wreck waiting to happen with everything going on.
They also signed cornerback Darius Williams to a $30 million deal that includes $18 million fully guaranteed. Max value is $39. They also signed Trey Hurdon. They got an offensive lineman Tyler Shatley.
They seem to be doing pretty well with the spending. The only thing is, like I said, when it comes to Jacksonville, sometimes I'm like, dude, can you bring your son in? Look how well he's doing with AEW. Yeah. Can you bring him in and help you out? Talk to him at least. Don't bring him away from AEW. I don't want to see them fail. Right. But at least ask him for some advice on what you should do, because look what the guy has done and actually made the Vince have to actually work and do something to fix his crappy ass product. But folks, we have finally made it to the worst team in the NFL. At least through power rankings for week 1 of free agency, and that is the Houston Texans. They have got to feel proud about that. They can exhale. They got rid of Deshaun Watson. He's somebody else's problem now.
Yeah.
Almighty.
Man.
They said that is the biggest NFL deal since the infamous Herschel Walker trade in '89. But they're saying, and the Texans can only hope that they become the next version of the 1990s Cowboys.
Right.
I'm sorry, Houston, y'all ain't been good since Air McNair was down there as an Oiler.
Right.
And so I don't know if that is gonna. But the biggest thing with that trade, they've got to they got to get that draft capital working for them in their favor.
They signed Jeff Driscoll, quarterback.
I don't trust the organization to get all the right pieces there. They have not been successful since the Oilers left, pretty much. When they came back, they really haven't been seen the kind of success that they had when the Oilers, the Titans were the Oilers down there. And I don't know what needs to be done, if it's how high up you need to fix this problem. I don't know if it can be fixed.
It goes all the way from the top. It goes.
I think we're starting to see certain teams that are having these issues. And you see that the Texans are one of those that are having some issues. The Browns, the Lions. I don't want to throw the Giants yet, because they can easily fix themselves. Washington's been up there for years, but when Snyder's wife said, "Get your ass in the back. Get back down to the basement. And you just cut the checks and stay at home. You're not allowed out of this house." And she took over the team and said, "Ron, this is your team now. Fix it, please."
Right.
Because at some point with Washington, it was going to get to a point where the fans were just going to be like, "We ain't even showing up." It was going to be like going to a Miami Marlins game when they had nobody in the stands, but the employees. That was it. They put players in the stands.
They had Watts. I remember, he was a beacon of hope.
He was, but it did not last. I will say that there have been some moves with hosting for Thursday Night Football. So Amazon's got theirs down. Al Michaels and Kurt Herbstreit are the officials are the two that will be doing the broadcasting on Thursday Night Football on Amazon. So I'm excited for that one. I love listening to Kurt Herbstreit.
Yeah.
Always was a fan. He has that great voice to listen to. It was always exciting watching him do college football. So I'm excited for that. And honestly, I'm excited for Monday Night Football now, when you got Troy Aikman over there. So it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a good shakeup for some of this commentary jobs. So I think I'm excited for the draft coming up. Who the hell knows what's going to happen between the time we sign off our show and next Tuesday, because we already know week 1 of the free agency was a fucking crazy train. So I'm sure we're going to keep riding off until we hit the draft, and then we'll still get to see, because it's just going to be crazy all the way up until week 1 of the actual season. And we will be here every Tuesday night to fill you in on all of the updates and everything else. Even when the season starts, we'll be here for our weekly analysis and all of that fun stuff.
And we got the USFL coming.
Yep, we got USFL action coming up. We got baseball is back.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good spring season for sports entertainment. We got wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan, get ready for WrestleMania. Stone Cold Steve Austin's making an appearance. You got that's really the only one I give a crap about. So I had to throw Stone Cold in there.
Nice.
The Texas Rattlesnake is back, folks. All right. So with that, guys, it's been a blast. We have exceeded our 1 hour slot, but I don't really care. It's my show, so I can do whatever I want. And I'll get yelled at by my boss tomorrow.
Yeah, no, what are you doing?
But yeah, guys, make sure to follow us Twitter, the Sportscast. Also, you can also look us up. Sports Talk 101 has a Twitter feed as well. But if you want all of the shows on the Sportscast, check them out. Sportscast over on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. All of the weekly shows for baseball, basketball. There's a Sunday night basketball show. We got all kinds of stuff there's shows literally all week. You can check out, like I said, Sportscast on Twitter. You can Sports Talk 101's on Twitter. Ray's on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. So we will see you guys next week. Have a good one. And this has been another episode of Sports Talk 101.
All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Brackets.